This story is inspired by the real struggles that many families face every day. If you are carrying financial burdens, heartbreak, or impossible challenges, remember this: God doesn't always remove the storm immediately. Sometimes He gives us the strength, wisdom, and opportunity to walk through it. Let's begin. David was an honest and hard-working man who loved his family more than anything. Every day he worked with one dream: to give his wife Sarah and his young daughter Emma a better future. But one business decision changed everything. David trusted the wrong people and they committed fraud. Overnight, everything he had worked for began to fall apart. Within weeks, the phone calls began. There were personal loans, credit card bills, a home mortgage, and money borrowed from trusted friends. Every bill was another reminder of how much he owed. The amount felt impossible, but David made a promise to himself. No matter how long it took, he would repay every dollar honestly. That evening, David sat down with Sarah and Emma. His voice shook as he spoke. "I made a terrible mistake," he admitted. "I don't know how long this journey will be, but I promise I will never stop trying to make things right." Sarah gently held his hand and reminded him that they were a family. Little Emma wrapped her arms around her father and quietly said, "Daddy, we still love you." In that moment, David realized he still had something more valuable than money. The next morning, David began calling every person he owed. With honesty and respect, he said, "Please give me a little more time. I won't run away and I won't hide. I know this is your hard-earned money, and I promise I will repay every dollar. All I ask is for a chance to rebuild my life." Some people appreciated his honesty. Others doubted him. But David never stopped making those difficult calls because keeping his word mattered more than his pride. When people heard how much David owed, almost everyone said the same thing. "David, it's impossible. You'll never be able to repay that much debt." Those words could have broken anyone's spirit. But David refused to let other people's doubts become his future. A few true friends stood beside him, believed in his honesty, and reminded him that every great journey begins with one small step. David chose hard work instead of excuses, honesty instead of shortcuts, and faith instead of fear. As the days passed, David searched everywhere for help. He spoke with relatives, friends, and people he trusted. Everyone understood his situation, but no one was able to help him financially. At work, some co-workers encouraged him and believed he would repay every dollar. Others looked at him differently. Their whispers and doubtful looks made every workday feel even heavier. Even so, David reminded himself that his character would be measured by what he did next, not by the mistake he had made. Every evening, David returned home feeling exhausted. But the moment he saw Sarah preparing dinner and little Emma smiling as she ran to hug him, something changed inside his heart. He quietly thought to himself, "They did nothing wrong. They don't deserve this pain. I cannot give up. I have to keep fighting for them." Their love became stronger than his fear, and every hug gave him the courage to face another day. When the house became quiet each night, David and Sarah knelt together in prayer. They didn't ask for an easy life or instant riches. Instead, David prayed, "Lord, give me the strength to keep my promises. Give me wisdom to make better decisions, open the right doors, and help me stay honest through every challenge." Night after night, they placed their worries in God's hands and found the courage to keep going. Months passed, and David never stopped applying for better opportunities. One morning, while checking his email before leaving for work, he noticed an invitation for a job interview. His heart filled with hope. He quietly whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for showing me another opportunity." David prepared carefully, gave his very best during the interview, and soon received the news he had been praying for. It wasn't the end of his journey, but it was the beginning of a new chapter. David walked into his new office with a grateful heart. He knew this job wasn't a shortcut or an easy solution. It was an opportunity, and he was determined to make the most of it. As he sat at his new desk, he quietly whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for giving me another chance. I won't waste it." David worked hard at his new job during the day. When the workday ended, he didn't go home to rest. He changed into a store uniform and started his evening shift. The office salary was used to repay his debts, while the income from the store helped cover groceries, rent, and everyday expenses. Every long day reminded him why he refused to give up. At the end of every month, David kept his promise. He sent a payment to every lender he could. Sometimes the amount was small, but it was honest. Little by little, the balances began to shrink. Every payment was more than money. It was proof that integrity is built one decision at a time. Months turned into years, and the impossible slowly became possible. More than half of David's debt had been repaid. The journey wasn't over, but the fear that once controlled his life had been replaced by hope. His family stood beside him through every step, and together they celebrated each milestone, no matter how small. One afternoon, David received a phone call from a man he had borrowed money from years earlier. The man said, "David, I just wanted to thank you. Most people would have disappeared, but you kept your word. You paid me back little by little, and that means more to me than you know." David smiled quietly. In that moment, he realized that keeping his promise had restored something even greater than his finances. It had restored trust. That evening, Emma asked her father, "Daddy, why did you work so hard every single day?" David smiled and replied, "Because our promises matter. Life may knock us down, but honesty, faith, and hard work help us stand back up. Success isn't about never making mistakes. It's about taking responsibility, learning, and never giving up." Emma hugged her father and whispered, "I want to be just like you someday." David's journey wasn't perfect, and it wasn't easy. There were days filled with fear, disappointment, and uncertainty. But every challenge taught him something valuable. He learned that honesty builds trust, hard work creates opportunities, and family gives us the strength to keep moving forward. Through every season, his faith gave him hope, and hope gave him the courage to take the next step. No matter what burden you're carrying today, remember this: your story isn't over. Keep your integrity, keep working, keep believing. One faithful step at a time can lead to a brighter tomorrow. If this story encouraged you, remember that every difficult season can teach us perseverance. Keep your faith. Keep your integrity. Keep working toward the future you hope to build. Thank you for watching. May peace and hope go with you.
If this prayer has brought peace to your heart, please become a part of our spiritual family. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another divine prayer, mantra, or devotional video. May God bless you and your family with peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. Jai Shri Ram.